On me. It's a culture in decline.
Oh dear. I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
How dare you?
Why? He always does this. Just to rub it in my face. I can't even get out of this thing.
What? You got a Rancor too now?
His is bigger.
What?
Yes.
Yours has like big crazy horns and shit.
No, his is the cantina. His is the cantina.
Oh my god.
Edition.
Oh my god.
Listen, he has spikes. Listen, I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for the adopted. He's got spikes. Look at him. Well, now he won't stop. See, he plays this game. Like I try to catch up to him, and then he just runs away. Stop running.
No, my brother is just the Tard Wrangler of the two of us. He has to lead us around and be like, come on, come.
Do you see his spikes? They're orange.
Yes, they are. Quite nifty. And yours has big, gnarly horns. What are you crying about?
No, his are orange.
No, I get that he has the like spikes around his back and stuff that are orange and everything, but you got big gnarly horns on the freaking head of the Rancor you got. Pretty cool.
No, his are orange.
Did you want what you wanted orange, an orange spiked Rancor? Would that have made you feel a little better?
No. Where are we going? I'm hungry. There's stuff at a gas station.
Go clean up your room.
Own your truth. You know, it was difficult. It was at first. I mean, you just cornered me like that and everything, but you know, it's a little liberating now to know I can like Star Wars in more ways than I ever imagined. Dave Filoni is the savior of Star Wars. KK is doing an amazing job. The people out there are just blind and can't see it. So yes, thank you. I can stop lying now.
Are you sure?
When you get, instead of just like trying to slap something out like the Star Wars experience and crap, but when you have, when you, I'm sorry, it's true though.
No,
it's like
I just got back from. Oh, I just died.
I just watched that. It was hilarious.
How do I get back up? I don't know what I was doing, but from that angle, I just jumped.
You just walked right off the cliff. It was hilarious.
I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, that's funny. I was just like, do, and I was like over here, and I was like, woo. Oh, see, you thought I was gonna do it.
And he did it. All right.
I missed it.
I was fully. I did a naughty do it. I was just messing around.
Yeah, you.
W.
Oh, that was gold. That was... Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith, number 127. I'm your host, the Fractured Filter, and I hope you all are doing great tonight. And with me here tonight is, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir?
Dude, so excited to be here. Got a lot to talk about.
Always do. Always do.
How are you?
Dude, I'm good. I'm good. You know, I put out things, but apparently, people are getting my goat a little bit here today. I'll admit that. Yeah, a little rise in the Fractured Filter. But
We wouldn't have it any other way, though.
you know, hey, you want to get you want to get the fire going, the passion going, right?
Oh yes.
So,
Thanks for a good
yes.
show.
Always does. Always does. But yeah.
Channeling your inner Bane.
You know, I sometimes wonder if I should switch out good old Kyle here occasionally and put
You
in.
haven't had Bane for a long time.
I have not. I have not. It's been a hot moment.
It has. I can't remember the last time you had Bane. You've had Kyle for
A very long. Kyle
well,
is.
you had you had
Kyle's-
Lando for.
I
Black
did Lando for. Yeah, I was doing the digital blackface for a little bit there. Yep.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
I mean, it's just funny the things that can be thrown around there. And we got people in the chat already. Hello, Melissa Lord. How are you doing? Saying, hey, Fractured Filter. Hello. How you doing today? Static. Saying, yo. Hey, yo. How you doing, sir? Glad to see you here today. And he says, oh, now he's saying, Hitman sounds like he is in a pocket.
What is wrong with my thing? Can you hear me or no?
I can hear you. I mean, tried turning you
I-
up a little bit on my end on the Discord.
Why don't you turn it up on mine?
I don't know. Maybe.
Let me
Like it is. This is all a new process. But you know what? What I'm glad to see is that things are apparently running a little better this week already off the bat. The upload rate looks good. Everything else is showing good. I'm really happy because I want this to work. I want it to really work out. So Static saying his mic is being weird because it's almost sounded normal for a split second. So whatever you did a moment ago, when you got kind of either closer to the mic or something like that, you were sounding good.
Well, mic's right at my mouth. I wonder if I should play this. I don't know. Do I do it in Discord or I don't know how to?
Yeah, I don't know if you need to tweak it in the settings, or in Discord, or if it's just like a set thing on the microphone. I don't know which microphone you have, so.
All right, I'll play with it.
No,
you can hear me.
I can hear you. They can hear
All
you.
right.
Apparently, you just sound like you're in a pocket.
That's not good. I don't wanna be in a pocket.
You're in a pocket universe. I'm kind of curious how that sounds really quick.
Let me do some MacGyvering.
I don't know. I think you're sounding good. I just listened to it really quick on the stream. It sounded good. I don't know though. Maybe it's just because it was really quick. Oh, I guess we can hear him. You're just muffled.
I don't know why.
What the hell was that?
That's my you.
Was
Did
that
you do
you that did that? What did you do?
No, I didn't do anything. Did you do something?
That was it's like a blowhorn thing. What the hell was that?
Oh, I don't know.
I wonder if that's showing up, if that's being heard on the stream.
I don't want to do do that.
Melissa Lord
Can
says
you
it
hear
sounds like he has a COVID mask over his mouth. Oh no. Well, I mean, actually, since he has the rebreather as part of Malgus' avatar, I guess that kind of works. But you can tweak it. You can while you're tweaking. I do have already
now. Anything? No.
Static says just heard the rim shot. So apparently Hitman has found the sound effects within Discord that have some extra fun. So I'm gonna leave. You know what, Hitman, that could be your thing if you want. Just be appropriate with it. Just be appropriate with it, okay? Okay.
What do you mean, bro? You sound like you talking to me like I'm a child.
Am I wrong too?
No.
At least you admitted it.
Is it better, or I'm doing the output volume? I don't know if that is.
I mean, I think you're sounding good for right now on my end, but we'll wait and see for the chat. Are you ready for this this first thing to go into here?
Yeah.
All right. Let me share the screen here. Now this was brought to me by the one fantastic Melee Games, James. He manages to find some of the most I don't know if silly is the right word, but just the craziest stuff. Oops, wrong screen. Hang on. Wrong screen. There we go. All right, now you should be able to see it. So, and let me now switch over for the chat to see it. There we go. So what we have here is from Master Lin Kuei over on X. There we go. Sega Mega Drive / Genesis Super Star Wars Holiday Special is out. A whole new adventure loosely based on the holiday special. We have it developed here by Master Lin Kuei here. Music by Edmus Prime. Developed with Scorpion Engine by Earrock. That's cool. This was from Christmas time, and as you can see, yes, you can see the screen of the Super Star Wars Holiday Special. You got the graphic right there. This is the first stage. I have played this. I have played a little bit of it. It is as difficult, if not more so, than the other Super Star Wars games. Probably as difficult, I would say. But this is, I mean, what's funny too is picking Sega as the default engine for this. I think that's kind of interesting instead of Super Nintendo, since that's what the Super Star Wars games were on. And I do have, give me just a moment here. Let me just pop this back really quick. I do have a trailer for it as well. Oh, I could have just clicked it right in there. I'm so oh, that's the download link. So yeah, here is. Like I said, I have downloaded it. I have played it. It does work. So, oops. As it says, about Super Star Wars Holiday Special. Super Star Wars Holiday Special is a Sega Master System game homebrew game that works like an unofficial game from the classic Super Star Wars series that was released originally for the Super Nintendo, but now loosely based on the outrageous The Star Wars Holiday Special from 1978. Hey, Nerdy Neo. I hope everything is going well, sir. He says, sup, filter, and guy who's ignored me since August.
Me? Oh.
Rude.
Where's my thing?
Just rude. So the story of this is of this game, Han Solo, Chewbacca are racing to Kashyyyk, planet to celebrate the life day with our family and friends. Unfortunately, Imperial forces intercept the Millennium Falcon and captured they on the detention block. Leia's C-3PO received a help message from them and contacted Luke Skywalker. Somebody needs to proofread this, guys. You are Luke Skywalker, and your mission is to save Han and Chewie from the evil Imperial forces to finally celebrate the life day. Development, this game was made only in 20 days and started as a joke. How Star Wars Holiday Special would be adapted as a Super Star Wars game, what would be the differences on the plot, and how cool would be to make a game in only 20 days to release at the Christmas holidays. It could be much more for sure, but I think for a retro game made in so small a time during my free time after a job, I think it's actually a solid result. LOL. Like I said, and we do have, there should be, I don't know if they have it on here, but here, yeah. So there is a trailer that I'll pull up in just a moment, but like it is, I played a bit of it. It was pretty funny that they did it. And Hitman's throwing the mic into his pocket.
I don't know. I'm buying a new mic. This thing, I don't know if I sound better or not.
All right, hang on just a moment. Now let me try and pull up the. Yeah, there we go. Are you okay? Good. You should be still seeing it in the Discord. Here we go. Here is the trailer. Oh, no sound. Give me just a moment there, folks. Which one? There we go. Okay. Just to make sure I got. There we go. Although what's funny is that there was something, I'll get to it in just a moment too. There really is something to be said about the old Sega sound, the music that was put out through their systems. And like the Melee's pointed out, this is just basically looking like levels from or at least background art, the artwork for Kashyyyk here, basically being from like Donkey Kong Country, because this is looking exactly the same.
Need this game.
What's that?
I said I need this game.
Even got the encounter with Boba Fett there. So yeah, I just thought that was really funny and kind of cool too that, somebody was putting this together. It is, the funny thing was too, and I was talking to James of Melee Games about this, is how like in the intro, like it has the English text like it shows here and everything, but then like there's a Spanish voice, I believe, that's dubbed it over saying once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away. At least I believe that's what was being said. But I thought it was I just think it's really cool that they did this. And hey, what a way to kind of flip some assets and use some from Donkey Kong Country here. Got Luke running in Kashyyyk, got this is like the first stage, and my god, like I even busted out my classic I have a classic Sega controller, and it's still tough as nails. Like I'll have to play more. I'll have to try and play more of it. Maybe if people really want to watch me suffer, I might play it on stream someday. But yeah, I just thought this was kind of a really neat thing that somebody was willing to whip up and put together and just share out there with everybody else. Because like they said, it was developed in 20 days. And I gotta say,
That's insane.
That it really is. And I mean, depending on how they ported things around, like it could have been just a matter of maybe some things copying and pasting, but like you still have to get it to work with the Sega system and everything. So I have to say, I'm just so impressed with what they did.
They did that in 20 days and we couldn't get Eclipse at all. Like, that's insane.
Yep. So yeah, I figured, hey, what a way to open the show with some video game talk and of a homebrew game on top of it for Super Star Wars: The Holiday Special.
Need to play this?
You'll have to try it out for sure, because like I said, it was fun. It was fun, even though I couldn't get through the first stage. And here is the link for everyone if they want to check it out themselves. They are more than welcome to. I just hopefully dropped that. And yep, it did. It dropped it in the chat. Fantastic. There we go. But yeah. So let's get back to some of the chat really quick here. Static said to Neo that Hitman was in the Bacta tank. And Neo's just having a good laugh on that. Nerdy Neo also says, I really hope someone develops a retro achievement set for this. You know what? I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there that does just that, Nerdy. You will not have to worry about that, sir. You will not have to worry about that. And hello, Meteor Advocate Timon, Meteor Herald, how are you? He's saying, heyo, Fractured Filter, and Hitman.
Hello.
Okay, that's chat so far. Hope you guys like that little introduction for everything. Or at least the start for the show. And I hope everything is still running nice and smooth. As I'm seeing it, it looks to be the case. So I am pumped. I'm glad for this because I wanted this to work. I just know it kind of sucks for you, Hitman, because you don't get to see everything the same way and hear everything quite like we did with the restream setup.
Oh yeah.
But okay, so what are you thinking, sir? What do you think we should jump into next?
Well, there's no shortage of things to talk about, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I know there's also been, there's been like a couple of Marvel trailers that have dropped recently. Don't know if you wanted to peruse those. Certainly part of the domination as of late has been a certain video game.
Yes.
or at least video game company system, whatever you want to say. So I wasn't.
If you can call them that.
Well, they are kind of the top dogs to some extent. But should we go into that topic as well? Now?
Yeah.
All right.
Might as well.
All right. So I think we'll take a first look. Like so many people have already been checking out as of late. And that is the Nintendo Switch 2, which I will say, I'm a little disappointed they did not go with the Super Switch. I think that could have been a lot cooler. But oh well. I don't make the decisions around here. Or around there.
Super Switch?
Huh?
You said Super Switch?
I said they really missed out on the. I was definitely with a lot of people that they should have gone with the Super Switch name.
Oh yeah.
Instead of Switch 2. That's like PlayStation. PlayStation did it. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like, come on. I think the Super Switch would have been a good route. But anyways, here is a first look trailer that they put out for the system. Bigger screen.
It looks the exact same, so I don't know what all the hype is.
I don't know if they're, like, I mean, I don't see where that could necessarily be a bad thing to kind of keep things familiar.
Right.
Okay, at least the controllers, looks like they've gotten made a little larger.
I mean, the only thing I've heard is that the processor's faster and...
Oh, I'm not sharing it for you. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
There you go.
Okay.
So yeah, it's on showing off the controllers right now. Which, okay, so it's funny that they show off the little joystick on the Joy-Cons. Let's hope that is better than what they've had with the previous edition, because it seems like ever since also the N64, they have not been able to properly have the joystick on them. Like ever since the Nintendo 64 controller too, it has just been a rough thing that where every time it just becomes loose or whatever, or just does not work the same way for sure. So I was hearing on the Melee Madness podcast, they started going over this trailer as well. Kay especially, she was like, that's a horrible idea to have the male to female clip into the controllers or into the system itself, because I guess now I haven't had my OLED switched for very long. I only got it like a year or two ago, I think. And I don't play it that often, but apparently like there's something to do with the slide rails where they can become loose, but you can at least do your own maintenance. This, as they kind of pointed out, could be a potential problem in case they aren't clicking back in or anything like that, and you might require a little more heavier maintenance, but I'm not sure, but then, yeah. What are your feelings so far?
Well, I also bought a OLED Switch recently, and
I hope that the slide rails don't ever get loose because that would suck.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like it to me, it's like if you're gonna, I don't know, because like different, like with the Xboxes, we've never had the same design of the console, I guess. So
Right.
I don't know, but I don't know what else you could really do for the Switch, and if it would even make sense to do something different, because you talked about familiarity and all this and that. But like,
Yeah.
what is the hype? That's what I don't understand. I heard that somebody's like, oh, it's backwards compatible, and that was
Well, yeah, they'll detail that here in the trailer too.
yeah. I just don't know what the hype is, I guess.
So like the question here has been, are we actually getting a new Mario Kart? Hopefully yes, because they basically just rehashed 8 from the Wii
Mobile.
U.
Well,
No,
and then
from the
mobile-
Wii U, and then
Well,
I mean
yeah.
they've added DLC content and stuff like that, which I've played some of the new levels, and they've added some new characters. I'm just kind of curious. I'm like, there's so people have been bringing up, especially the Melees. They've been bringing up the Double Dash game on the GameCube, which I somehow never played. So I'm kind of curious if they're gonna, because I've heard of the game, some of the game mechanics from that game, and I'm just surprised we haven't quite seen it with some of the newer iterations. Like you'd think they kind of bring that sort of stuff back, but it's just been kind of regular Mario Karting, which is good too. Maybe they could have that as like an alternate mode, but for right now, maybe it looks like we're gonna be getting a brand new one.
Well, that's one.
What's that?
Well, I was just confused because it's like you have Mario Kart 8,
Yeah,
and then I heard people saying that mobile's technically 9, and then 10 would be the
I
next one. But then
I don't see
people,
how you could count a mobile game though. Like that doesn't make sense
well,
to
that's
me.
I get it,
But that's
that's
me.
what I heard. But apparently, I heard on yesterday, the day before, that mobile is not counted as 9, and there will be a legit 10.
Okay.
So I don't know.
The one thing, like I said, I could say, and I'll be really curious to actually see these in person, is if these controllers are that much bigger, because one of my complaints with the regular Joy-Cons is that they're too small.
Oh,
They are
yeah.
just too small for my freaking monster mitt hands. And I do like, and it's kind of the annoying thing because I basically do need the Pro controller to feel comfortable playing
Yeah.
any of their games generally. So
Well, that's only if
hopefully,
you play on the TV, I guess, right? You can't use it if you're on the
wait, what's that?
using it. Well, you can only use the Pro controller if you're playing on the TV, right? You can't. There's no way to set it up if you're just playing the handheld version. Is there?
No, no, I believe you could still use it because it connects wirelessly and everything. Yeah.
I understand.
Although I haven't tested that, so I can't speak to that. So, 'cause I know like Joy-Cons you can pair up even though it's disconnected from the TV.
Yeah.
So I imagine the same thing with the Pro controller too. And this has kind of been some curiosity, is plays Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games as well as Nintendo Switch games, asterisk. Nintendo Switch 2 plays both physical and digital Nintendo Switch games. Certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported on or fully compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. Details will be shared on the Nintendo website at a later date. I can only imagine that means like certain digital games do not roll over, because maybe the developers still have to make it compatible with the Switch 2 or something. I can only hope that yes, and I mean, it's good that they're making it backwards compatible, because otherwise that would really suck balls if they didn't. And that would definitely be like, all right, I am just 100% done with the system. But I mean, that is good, and it'll be curious to see just what they mean by what games won't be or aren't going to be fully supported on the Switch 2. I guess in April there's gonna be some more Switch 2 details according to that from Nintendo Direct, so that'll be curious to see. I wonder what.
Well, I'd heard that people have already been able to, like, I guess, see this and play this briefly, and there's a lot of NDAs that had to have been signed, and I don't know. I'm curious to see if it will really come out and when it's going to come out.
I know, yeah, there apparently all of the leaks were 100% confirmed by this announcement, or at least if not more, most of them were. So it's kind of funny, and now they drop it, and then I guess there's like it is. And it'll be interesting because if April 2nd is a Wednesday, which is usually my days off, and so maybe I might have to stream and check that out, or maybe get with some other people that are.
The question I have is, what's this price point going to be? Because I've heard somebody said that they think it's going to be $400. I'm like, that's expensive even for Nintendo. Because I don't think they've ever had a console that has been well, I mean, the OLED's almost $400. I mean, it's $350.
Yeah, I was gonna say the $350 for the OLED,
but $400 is still. I mean, that's pricey in my opinion. What do you think?
So kind of to nerdy Neo's point. He said, all it needs to be is more powerful Switch and backwards compatible. That should make pretty much everyone happy. The powerful part of it is, yes, going to be a very determining factor for it. Because so series hands held around the world. Series of hands-on events held around the world. More details, check the official Nintendo site. So yeah, that's gonna be kind of the curious thing. Is gonna be the price, because when you think about it, you do have then something like oh, maybe I should have just brought it up on Brave, sorry. But you do have something like why am I blanking on the freaking game, on the freaking system? Steam Deck.
Yes.
So you have something like the Steam Deck. All right.
But that's even more.
So that's gonna be kind of my point here.
I mean, if I get Steam Deck, you're at least getting a full, well, I don't know if it's a full computer, but I mean, as powerful as a computer, maybe?
Pretty much so. I mean, a lot of these handhelds are getting really powerful, and their basic system is at $399. And it is, it's got the for 2 to 8 hours of gameplay, content dependent, 45-watt power supply, 1.5 cable, carrying case, Steam profile. I mean, it is like a little, probably like a little Linux machine, if anything.
Yeah.
But then they as it goes up, it's got the OLED. These things are fully moddable too.
You're talking about the Steam Deck?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Well, what was our most expensive model? 600?
For the Steam Deck?
Yeah, we did it. We reviewed it. There's like 3 different levels or something.
Yeah. So the base model, LCD, 399, 256 gigabyte capacity. And I think for the Switch 1, the highest capacity with the OLED was 64 gigabytes. So the Steam Deck is already providing a higher capacity just for that end.
Right.
And then $549 is the 512 gigabytes OLED screen, higher refresh rate than the base model at 90 hertz, high Wi-Fi, a little more battery power, and then $649 for the 1 terabyte OLED. Same size, a little. So the the other models, the base model is 7-inch screen. The OLEDs and 512 and up, 7.4-inch diagonals display screen. Both have the 90 hertz refresh rate. Both the same amount of battery life, but you know, you get that 649, you get 1 terabyte of storage. But again, I mean, that is kind of covering PC games, which can be a much higher capacity than Nintendo and what they usually can optimize their systems for.
Yeah.
And also it comes with other extra exclusives for the 649. So
I mean, the question is, it seems like Steam Deck's more worth it, but
I mean, it's
still a lot more.
To me, at least as a mainly PC gaming player, it does still sound more and people, and there are going to be much better people out there, I'll say, that could probably break down the nitty gritty on the processing power and everything of that sort between like something like the Steam Deck here, and then also what's going to be in the Nintendo Switch 2. So
I mean, it just, in my opinion, Nintendo has a monopoly on, well, maybe not monopoly, that's not true, but they definitely have, I think, the loyalty,
mm-hmm.
you know, which is, I mean, well, we talked about, you know, the exclusivity of their games, and, you know,
Well, and I mean, I know this is just going off of our particular store that we work in, or in our location and everything. But I mean, when it comes down to it too, it's like, when it comes to like systems, I probably sell more Nintendo Switches than I generally do Xbox or PlayStation. But that's just me talking about my area, about our area and everything like that. That it just and especially like over the holidays, the Switch was the system to get.
But here's my question: if we carried Steam Deck, do you think that number would have been different?
Possibly, because we have had we have some of the Asus, I think, I don't know how you pronounce it exactly, Asus handheld systems.
Yeah.
And I mean, those are some of them are 400, some of them are like more than that. But I've been seeing them. They've been like the shelf tends to get shopped.
Yeah.
So here's like now
is Steam Deck you can only buy it on? I mean, where do you buy it?
Well, that is kind of the thing that Steam seems to so this is the ROG Ally by Asus, and we've been selling these in our store, and they've been selling pretty decently from what I've
More
noticed.
so than Nintendo?
No, not more so than Nintendo, because Nintendo still has the better price. I think there are some people that are testing it out themselves and everything, but I mean, it's been going.
Does price point really matter?
I think when Nintendo has set a certain standard, yes, it does. People are going to be expecting a certain price, and that was something I was trying to bring up, was the launch price. But I mean, this is okay. So I do have here, found a site that at least so this is from 2022. So like the Nintendo Entertainment System was price launched at $180. Imagine that. Price adjusted for inflation, $428. This is by 2022 that this article was put out. Then you had like the Super Nintendo down here, $199 launch price. Price adjusted for inflation, $414. I'm kind of curious now of like Nintendo 64 price launched $200. Price adjusted for inflation, $329. Interesting. GameCube, $199. Okay, that sounds about right. Price adjusted for inflation, $290. And man, I love the GameCube. I love that system so much. I need to like the fucking Wii. But yeah, price launch $250, price adjusted for inflation $320. The Wii U $300, $336 for inflation. So yeah, that's kind of the price points that they're looking at. The Switch was at $300. Yeah, $299. Price adjusted for inflation $316. So yeah, it's gonna be a curious thing to see what they go for. And if they keep that's gonna be the thing, like it, because it might not be the most powerful system out there, kind of like the Switch was. They'll keep the cost at a certain point, which will still be favorable to people. And my brother and I were kind of talking about this too, is that even if they keep the hardware kind of low, it'll still, like, it may not be the most powerful thing on the planet, but it still means that, you know, then maybe developers can create an art style and everything like that that'll work well within the confines of it. It might help kind of spark a certain creativity, because I mean, sometimes when these developers are actually limited by certain things, it helps them come up with new ideas to work around limited tech in some ways. And that was kind of the thing of the day of some of the old generations, was like, oh, they have to work around certain things, and it sparks new ideas of what they can create for the game. So that's going to be the curious thing. And maybe in April they'll reveal more tech for it. And maybe I can get somebody and we'll look at it, see what they put out there, and somebody can give.
So why haven't you bought a Steam Deck then? If you're a computer guy, is it the price point that does it for you?
Not. Oh, I mean, yes, the price point is a factor always. It's just also, I'm not always that mobile. Like, I'm not always on the go. So
yeah, and that makes sense, I guess.
Do I really always need something like that? Not really. I wanted the Switch because there were some games that I did want to play. In particular, like because I did try Metroid Dread. I was like, oh, that's really freaking cool. I still got to pick that game up. But it was really great. I thought it was a really great 2D platformer. Very quick, very action. And I would almost say, like, that would be if they were to, like, and I hate to do the monkey's paw of putting it out there, but they were to do like a remake sort of thing of Metroid, Super Metroid, they have the perfect system to kind of go off of, and they maybe had to like expand on some levels and kind of change some things up here or there to match the pace of Dread. But I think it would be because I think they really like tuned out the system just right from when they did the remake of Metroid 2. So
did you play the remastered version on the Switch that just came out recently? Well, I guess not recently, but
the Metroid Prime remaster?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I didn't because I really was wanting to hold out and see if they're going to put out a Prime Trilogy pack. But I might just have to eat that one and maybe just pick up the game finally.
Well, if you pick it up, then I'll pick it up because, I mean, it's fairly cheap. I mean, all things is like, I mean, $30 compared to, you know, your typical 59.
I'd say if you didn't play the original Metroid Prime, do it. It's a great game.
I think I played it on Game Boy Advance,
the GameCube.
maybe?
No, it's on the GameCube.
Or GameCube, yeah. So,
I mean,
I didn't know you're a Metroid fan.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, the Metroid series is great.
What's your recommendation? What's the best one you've played?
I'll always be a simp for Super Metroid.
Super Metroid.
I love that one. I think it has a great atmosphere, great soundtrack.
Was that on the GameCube?
No, that was on the Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Okay.
Yeah, because it says Super in front of it. Like they had so many games that were Super. But yeah, like to me, I think Super Metroid is just a fantastic, near like perfect 2D Metroidvania game and everything. Like that's what set probably the whole thing for Metroidvania style games. Other than, I mean, yeah, there was 2 that predated it, but like that was just such a standout and so fantastic. Like, oh, I just love it. I could see how for some people they might see it as a little stiff for some of the gameplay, but like my brother said, get good, suckers, get good. So I'll just say like, yeah, definitely Super Metroid. If you've never played it, give it a go. So how about you?
Were they on one was there one for the Game Boy?
Yes, that was Metroid 2.
Okay, I started playing that on the Switch because I had bought I had the expansion pack. And it's funny because on the Switch it's green color. I don't know if that's the original color it was in on the Game Boy because I never played it for the actual Game Boy. But yeah, it's so awesome to see just the where we were at with gaming and kind of where we're at now, just like the old Game Boy, you know.
Oh, dude, Metroid 2 is great. Like I did enjoy that one. That was, and I remember like I was like, wait, where was the spider ball? And it was just in only Metroid 2. I was like, dang it! For some reason, my brain at one point convinced myself it was in Super Metroid as well, but that's not the case.
I mean, I don't know if it's even the first. I couldn't even get past the first boss. I'm like, this is just crazy. Maybe I'll have to do that. Maybe I'll pick up the remastered, the one that's out.
Oh, definitely.
After I do the Game Boy game, because I really want to play the Game Boy game. Because I remember, are you sure there wasn't a Metroid Prime for like the DS or any type of? I remember playing one. I don't think it was for GameCube per se.
Oh God, let's see.
I remember. Very distinctly remember playing one, but I can't remember if it was for the 3DS or the Game Boy Advance.
I mean, there's been a bunch. I'm trying to look right now.
Oh yeah, it's no big deal, but I definitely remember playing one.
You said on the 3DS?
Either the 3DS or maybe Game Boy Advance.
I mean, I know there was like Metroid Zero, and I think that was on Metroid Fusion. God. I think Metroid Fusion was on the Game Boy Advance.
Maybe that was it.
And Game Boy Advance did have Metroid Zero Mission, which was like a kind of prequel.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
But yeah, I'm not. At least as far as I can tell at the moment. But yeah.
So I remembered it. Samson and the ball and everything. Samus,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the chat really quick. Nerdy Neo had said, I'm still calling it Super Switch because it's a better name. I'm with you. Timon says, will they come with the drift? Nerdy Neo says, what? GameCube joystick was the best. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I just remember like the N64, that joystick is just such a a staple of that particular controller, so I always just think back to that and how that joystick would always.
Oh, that
fail.
joystick was so
so
crazy
bad.
on the game. Yeah, on the GameCube. I remember
Oh,
playing
yeah.
Jedi Starfighter or one of the Star Wars flying games. I think was on it. Was it not?
Yeah, they had like Rogue Squadron
Yes.
on there.
Yeah, oh, so bad. And then Mario Sunshine was I would get so frustrated because I feel like this thing's just so flimsy and it's gonna break. The only joystick that was metal and plastic.
Vera
Was it
Femus.
metal?
I don't know. I'd have to check mine. I still have some GameCube controllers, so I'd have to check them.
Check it.
Fear Fema says joysticks peaked with the Atari 2400. Who needs more than one button? I mean, that was simplicity at its best, sir. You're absolutely right. Nerdinia says you can use Pro Controller regardless of handheld or docked. Okay, I thought so, but thank you for the confirmation, sir. I appreciate that. Timon says I would like a cheaper screenless Switch, maybe. Nerdy Neo says, I'd put money on the only non-compatible Switch games will be because of required peripherals. Yeah. Good point. Hello, Darth Paz. How's it going? He's saying probably $350.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, that's the same as the OLED, though.
It's a decent price point, especially for a brand new system.
Yeah.
Captain Keeley says, good day, all. Hello, sir. Hope you're doing
The question
good.
I pose is it going to be, are they going to knock down the OLED price then?
That'll be kind of interesting, like how long the OLED Switch and the regular Switch will stay out on the market.
Yeah.
Timon says Nintendo Switch, everyone's second console. Nerdy Neo says Switch sales being so high makes sense because they're pretty cheap and it makes sense to have multiple units in one household too. Yeah, they made it easy for people to do so, and that'll be possibly the thing. Is that Darth Paws is asking, is KOTOR compatible for the Steam Deck? I believe it is. Hang on. Let's take a look here. So it usually says right on the main page if they are. So no, I'm not. Oh, Steam Deck compatibility saying playable. Here, let me share this really quick. Oop. So here's what it's saying. It says Steam Deck compatibility. Valve's testing indicates that Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is playable on Steam Deck. This game is functional on Steam Deck, but might require extra effort to interact with or configure. This game sometimes shows mouse, keyboard, or non-Steam Deck controller icons. Entering some text requires manually invoking the on-screen keyboard. This game doesn't support Steam Deck's native display resolution and may experience degraded performance. This game is incorrectly scaled to Steam Deck and may require you to configure the display resolution manually. So that might be also where some people's mods might come into play as well. They might be able to kind of help fix some of that. But all functionality is accessible when using the default controller configuration. In-game interface text is legible on Steam Deck. Game's default graphics configuration perform well on Steam Deck. Now let's see Knights of the Old Republic 2. I got a feeling it's going to say the same. Yep. Same thing. Playability. It's playable. This game sometimes shows mouse, keyboard, Steam Deck. Entering some text requires manually invoking on-screen keyboard. So those are the two main things that it just can't quite hustle with. But all functionality is accessible when using the default controller configuration. In-game interface text is legible on Steam Deck. Game's default graphics configure performance well on Steam Deck. Game does not support cross-platform saved games. Oh no. So there you go. On the site, finding the answers. That's how we do it around these parts. Nerdy Neo said Prime Remastered is fantastic for modern controls alone. Nice. Okay, that's good to hear. See, that's why I would like the remaster whatever for Metroid Prime 3, because I'd like them to remove those shoddy freaking motion controls. My brother got through a lot of that game of Metroid Prime 3, but he just gave up just because he didn't like the controls. Melissa Lord saying playing Metroid on NES and hand drawing maps. I was there 40 years ago, Gandalf. Nice. Yep. I remember renting the original Metroid and popped it into my system, and unfortunately it just did not, like, I don't know what it was, if something was just wrong with the cartridge or whatever, but dude, it just did not play well. But thankfully, I didn't let that experience sour me so much, and later on, I did play Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, played that game to death. I remember my Game Boy eating up so many batteries. Holy hell. But it was a good time. It was a good time. Nerdy Neo says, pause. It has to be. It's on the App Store. Filter, did you play AM2R? I did. I did play some of that. I need to actually get back to that game at some point, because that was really cool. Like, the guy did a really good job. And I mean, he just did probably the right thing of just releasing it and letting it happen. I mean, it was done. It was complete. It's like, all right, there you go. And, but it, you know, there's always that unfortunate risk. Nerdy Neo's pointing out, yes, Metroid Fusion was Game Boy Advance. Hey, Dan Blackroot, aka Liquid Blake, how you doing, sir? How you doing? Game Boy peasants, I had the Sega Game Gear. I could travel and game in color with large backpack full of batteries. Yeah, you want to talk about the destroyer of batteries? That Game Gear, holy hell! That thing was. I mean, it was impressive though. I'm kind of curious how come it just didn't quite take off though, the same way the Game Boy did, considering what it was offering. And I remember some kids in my class at the time having Game Gears, but I was definitely I was a Game Boy boy.
Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy. What were you?
Original Game Boy, and then I did have a Game Boy Color for a time.
Nice.
But then I just stuck with mainline console. Nerdy Neo said came out the same time as Prime. Okay. Neo says Metroid Zero Missions was a remaster of the OG. That was it. And then they added some extra missions at the end, if I recall correctly. Nerdy Neo says Rogue Squadron was on N64. Rogue Leader. Sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you for the correction, Neo. I appreciate it, brother. Rogue Leader was a GameCube launch title. And that was what you're thinking of for the GameCube.
Okay. Yeah.
Melissa Lord says, KOTOR plays on my PC. Plays on mine too. I loved it. I streamed it. I want to do... God, I am so tempted. I may have to forego my original plans, because after I was going to be done with the Mass Effect trilogy, I was going to get into some of the games that Spartacus very, very generously gifted me. And there's some Lego games. And I was like, okay, I got to get to those. But I'm like, I really, really want to do my Dark Side playthrough on Knights of the Republic 1 and 2. Because when I did this stream, I played Light Side. So, but I was so itching to do Dark Side stuff. I was like, I just want to be a bastard. So I might have to. Darth Paw says might be worth the buy for me then. Ooh. Considering that Steam Deck, sir. I might have to look at the Steam Deck again at some day. Nerdy Neo says the motion controls on Wii were great. I wasn't a fan. So I skipped the Wii entirely, but I did get some of the Wii games when I got the Wii U, since the Wii U was backwards compatible. Like I got the Zelda Skyward Sword, and we got Metroid Prime 3 because my brother always wanted to check that game out finally. But yeah, it just was not for me, man. I just couldn't. I just was not. Too gimmicky for me. Like, it just did not work for me, brother. Dan Blackroyd says the Game Gear was insane. Even had the TV attachments to watch on the go. Yeah, see, like I said, that's the Game Gear was a crazy handheld, man. I think Sega was just sometimes too ahead of the game. They were just too ahead of the curve at times, and people were just not ready for it. Because they had the Sega TV, which was kind of your early streaming service, and then later on the Dreamcast was probably like their the most powerful of them, and they almost had GTA. They had their full online service capabilities. I remember that was where I played Phantasy Star Online and had some hilarious time on that. And I did, it sucks. Yeah, and then, I mean, everybody else then just kind of picked up the ball and ran with it after it kind of kicked Sega in the balls. Dan Blackwood says, and forever, Columns, greater than Tetris. Okay. I never played Columns, but I'll take your word for it, sir. Neo says, yeah, Zero Mission had an extra bit at the end that wasn't in the original. Star Wars Marvel purists with the what's up? What's up, sir? Hope you're doing well. Darth Paul says, do it. Dark side playthroughs are fun. Yep, it's just gonna have to be it. Marvel purists saying, force choke the like button if you haven't already. Please do. And if you're on the replay, drop a comment in the chat. Or just drop a comment. It helps the algo. It really, it's a thing. It works. Marvel Purist says, I always play Darkside runs first, LOL. Well, okay, so now here's the thing. I allowed the people to choose and vote. I love democracy. I love the Republic. But I did. I allowed people to vote, and I'm sorry, the Darksiders did not come out and vote. So, by the will of the people, I did a light side playthrough. That was the chosen path.
Weak sauce.
I advertised it. I told people. I tried to get it out there. I gave
Give in to your hate.
I'm going to just do another game playthrough.
Good.
But the light side was first. The light side got the attention first.
I just can't do it. I can't do light side. I always play through dark side.
I am just at the end of the day sometimes just a filthy, dirty, goddamn neutral that I like to just play the game and see what happens, because there are moments where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill this son of a bitch. Or there are times like, okay, I want to help these people. So I always end up in such
there's no helping. My favorite is when you go to Tatooine and you steal the widow's was it like a bantha skull or some type of skull, and she doesn't have her hunting license or her sewing license. So she tries, but she's like, you can go to Circuit Core and you can get it. And so then I use the mind trick for her to give me, like, I take it from her and, make her think I'm going to do it. Then I force her to give me more money. And then she like, oh, you stole it from me, you bastard. Like, give me more money or I'll kill you. So, or the other one
that is just sometimes the delicious fun of the dark side.
Or the other one is the same planet, but it's like before you try to find the Great Dragon, the guy, his ex-wife, does the security droids, and I'm like, have a nice day, bye, die in the sand.
That one is hilarious. That was just hilarious. Captain
Yeah.
Keeley says the Lego games filter, you must play them. Okay.
Star
Since
Wars
you-
Lego. What Legos are you playing?
So I on my own did pick up I picked up the Skywalker Saga Lego Star Wars when it was like dirt cheap. But Spartacus, I've been now making lists of things. I've been making lists of like people that have so generously donated to the channel. And then I started to document the games that'll potentially get donated, and Spartacus has been just like crazy about it. He's been awesome. And he donated or he gifted me the Lego Harry Potter collection, Lego Batman the video game 1, 2, and 3. So
if I gift you Hogwarts Legacy, are you gonna play it?
I would feel compelled to, sir, if you gift me a game. Because he's
Well,
first.
If I know that, I would have gifted you Starfield.
I would immediately disown you. But he'd gifted me Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and I played through that.
Good.
That amazingly enough, like Aspire did a really good job with Star Wars Bounty Hunter, and especially like don't use a controller in my book. Use the mouse and keyboard controls. Oh my god. I just laid waste to everything. Like once I didn't think to do that until like the end of the game practically. And I switched over. I'm like, holy hell, yes, let's go. So yeah. Like he's been awesome. I can't thank him enough. Marvel Purist saying my kids use the Wii. Meh. Yeah, okay, so I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again because we do have probably some people that have not heard this. I entirely skipped the Wii because I was angry at Nintendo, and for probably a stupid reason. Because I felt like the GameCube was the very first system that I bought with money from a job I got in high school, and I was very proud of myself. I had the money, I earned it, and everything. I worked a real proper job. And all that, and that was something I wanted to get, and it just and I got the GameCube. I was so stoked, so happy. I love that system to death. There's still a lot of games I need to play for it, and I've managed to miss the Mario games and the Mario Kart, weirdly enough, which you wouldn't think would happen. But absolutely loved Resident Evil 4 on that system. Like Resident Evil 4 is probably a game I played the absolute bejesus out of. And of course, yes, Metroid Prime 1 and 2 we have. I gotta I'll look and see what games I still have at some point. I'll post it out on X or whatever, Twitter. But then the Wii came along, and as they did so, they did it along with Twilight Princess.
Fantastic game.
Twilight Princess was on both the GameCube and the Wii. Personally, I didn't see the point of the Wii because to me, it just felt like a gimmick machine.
Hold on here. I just want to interject really quick and tell you that I had the highest KDR I've ever had in my gaming career on the Wii, Call of Duty, just so you're aware.
Did they have Call of Duty on the Wii?
Oh yeah, Black Ops 1, they had it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Highest KDR I've ever had on the Wii.
I'll be damned.
Also,
World at War as well. Call of Duty 3, Modern War.
Yeah,
I'll be damned.
Yeah. I also, and then I'll yield before that, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 on the Wii is where I got my first blood. I was playing Nuketown, and I threw the tomahawk from the backyard, and I was like, son of a gun. I got a first blood. And they had the replay camera, and I threw it behind the bus, all the way in the backyard, over the bus, hit the guy in the forehead.
Nice.
First blood.
Nice. But okay, so I just saw the Wii as, for one, like I said, a gimmick machine, and I didn't see it as being that much more powerful than the GameCube. So I didn't see the point to it. I felt like they needlessly killed the GameCube when it had potentially so much more life to it. So I swore off the Wii. Didn't go near that system. So
Such a great console, though.
So I just avoided it. So if there's anybody that's ever like really off or just like thinks I'm batshit insane or whatever, which I probably am to a lot of people, but I am more than willing to walk away from things like that. That was it. I was done with Nintendo. I was like,
you did it with PlayStation too.
Oh yeah, I've done it with but the PlayStation is a more recent thing.
Well,
Nintendo was my system. Nintendo was my company at the time. I loved Nintendo. I was there with the Nintendo Entertainment System, and then the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, and like I said, yeah, I got the GameCube. And I had a Game Boy. I loved the Pokemon games on the original Game Boy. I can't get into any of the newer ones. But
so I'm just confused. So why the Wii though? So because they released the Wii, you're like, I'm done. I'm walking away.
I was very upset. I don't like I said, it's probably the most retarded thing in the whole freaking wide world. But
the GameCube had been around the same. I mean, every console has been around what 5 to 7 years.
It didn't feel that way to me. To me, it felt like it still had life. It still had time. There were more that could have been done with the system. I just didn't see the Wii as a much bigger upgrade, and I didn't care for motion controls.
I mean, I mean, I'm not arguing with you, but I'd say you'd have more of a case for the Wii 2, because that was just, I don't understand the Wii U 2 or the Wii 2.
The Wii U is what brought me back.
Or the Wii U, really?
Yes. So, and the Wii U is basically a prototype Switch when you stop and think about it. But so I was like, okay, it was like, I think around with everything coming out, I think the Wii U is being announced, PlayStation and Xbox and everything. And I took a look at what was going on with Nintendo, and they were showing off the Wii U. They were showing it like with it was, and I got it on release with the launch, and everything was Zombie U. And I really like the concept of the idea of you had the tablet screen that while you're playing on the TV, you're doing whatever you're doing. And then if you came to a door and you needed a lock pick, then on the tablet screen, that's when it would come up with like the lock picking mechanism. So you're doing that, but while on this main screen, you were still vulnerable. So I thought there's this kind of cool dynamic going on where you could be at trouble. And it did the same thing with if you were looting, or not looting, but like going through your own inventory, you were still at risk at any time during the game. So I thought there is a kind of cool, God, I'm now forgetting the word, kind of immersion to it, to where, like I said, you're still very vulnerable. And I was like, that is a really cool idea. I hope they do more with that. I'm on board. I'm cool. Let's go. Let's do it. And it was backwards compatible. So I'm like, okay, any Wii games that I was like, I can now go back and check out. And then there was absolutely zero support for that system, and I was pissed again.
Yeah.
I was pissed again.
People didn't think it was good.
It got no third-party support. Like, no company wanted to develop for it. It really cheesed me off because then they were all on board for the Nintendo Switch.
Of course.
So, I also swore off the Switch for a little bit until I finally got the OLED. So, I have a very weird, sordid history with Nintendo. Like I said, I may have a tism.
I mean, PlayStation makes sense why you walked away from. It's like it's almost like they killed your favorite system, and because of that, you're like, I'm gonna spite them.
Kind of, yeah.
I agree with you. Like, I did enjoy the GameCube, and unfortunately, I borrowed my buddies. I never bought one. I kept his. I don't know if I ever returned it.
You
We're not
locked
friends
him
anymore.
monkey.
Yeah, we're not friends anymore, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Mario Sunshine was fantastic. That was my game. And of course, with all the other ones, but I distinctly remember Mario Sunshine with the water pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I hear Mario Galaxy is really good. I've never, again, because I skipped the Wii, so I never played it. I'm gonna have to try and check it out someday.
But Star Wars games, yeah.
I heard the Force Unleashed was kind of cool on the Wii because it had like a versus
mode.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Nerdy Neo had said the Wii version of Resident Evil 4 is the only version that makes aim work correctly. I don't know what problems you had. Worked fine for me on the GameCube. Marvel Pierce says Sega. So many dope games. I was always a Nintendo boy. But I liked there were some cool like that was a cool thing about the old school days is that even though like it was the same game for some respects or same property, they had different style of games. Especially like the ones that always stick out to me is like Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park on the Super Nintendo was a isometric style top-down game where you just played as Grant. I love that game. Has such a comfy freaking soundtrack, and it's a lot of fun. But then the cool thing that I always liked about the Sega Genesis version of Jurassic Park was that you could play as the Velociraptor, and you got to run around and eat people. I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. So when I did get the chance, I would play it at a friend's house. So some of my friends had Sega. I had the Super Nintendo. We all see, that was always a funny thing. Like people talk about the console wars. Like we didn't really have that. Like, yeah, we all kind of laughed at it, and I think I might have known one or two people that were a little snobby about like the different systems, but like at the majority, none of us really gave a shit. And like some differences too with like the Aladdin games. The Aladdin game on the Super Nintendo, you did not have a sword. Sega Genesis, you got a sword to attack people with instead of just chucking apples at people. Marvel Pure says the Genesis was awesome too. Oh yeah, I mean, what was it? I played at a buddy's house. General Chaos was a lot of fun. That game was fun. He kicked my ass every time, but it was fun for its time. Oh, all for their time. All had great games. Melissa Lord says remapping the Wii controls to work on a PlayStation 4 controller was a pain. Skyward Sword was fun, but Wii controls suck. I'm with you there. Captain Keeley says filters are great, Jedi. We all know there's no such thing as great Jedi. I was just a filthy, dirty neutral. And I did not embrace one side or the other, so I was always weak. I was always weak in comparison to everybody else. And that was a problem because I did not embrace the transformations of the dark or the light. And that's all there is to it. But no great Jedi. Darth Paws says, I grew up with the Sega Genesis, even though it's like 30 years or something older than me. Oh, damn. Me and my father kept it in storage until I was old enough and I grew up with it. That's a good man. Nerdy Neo, Twilight Princess is phenomenal. Oh, it was amazing. Amazing. I still love it. I need to go back and play it, especially with the Dolphin emulator, because you can load in HD textures for it, and it looks even more just fantastic than it did.
There's talk that it might they may do I can't talk. There's talk that I've heard that it's going to come back during the Switch 2. Don't know if it's true or not. I hope it is. It's fantastic. I loved it. Yeah.
Melissa Lord also loved Twilight Princess. It was fantastic. Dan Blackroyd says Fractured was blown away when he saw they had faces and twin snakes. You're right. It was a very jarring experience. And that was another game I had to get on the GameCube was Twin Snakes. It really like I understand why some people were kind of miffed on that game, considering the over like actiony scenes that they did into them. But I always got a kick out of it, and apparently even Kojimbo was told the game director to kind of make his own version almost. But I think that version of Metal Gear Solid is just fantastic. Okay. Star Wars Mario here says my systems were the Intellivision, nice, Genesis and PlayStation, all versions. I had an Xbox 360 as a placeholder and an NES. All my neighbors had Super Nintendo. Like I said, I was a Nintendo kid. Had them up till GameCube. Skipped. Had the Wii U. I still have the Wii U. I have my Switch. Genesis I never got. PlayStations I have all versions up to 4. My Xbox 360 died, so I have to get a replacement. But I never got an original Xbox. My brother and I. That's where our console war side kind of came out, and we kind of snubbed the Xbox a little bit. We kind of thumbed our noses at it. But then when I worked for Radio Shack and all the employees had Xboxes, I'm like, all right, to try and socialize with my coworkers or something, I decided to pick up the 360. And I ended up enjoying the hell out of the 360. I like the whole we talked about this last week. But I love the achievements and stuff like that. And then, of course, a buddy of mine, when he showed off Mass Effect, I'm like, God damn it, I have to get the system. That was before they ported it to PC. Dan Blackred said, I accepted the polygons as they were. Star Wars Marvel Pierce says, Knights of Melvin tourney final round in 40 minutes. Vote, purist. Star Wars theory exposed. Oh no. We might have something that Hitman wants to go over about theory. Captain Keeley says fractured filter tisms. Yep, I've got the tisms. Nerdy Neo says I'll be playing Mario Sunshine this year for the first time since it's the game I was challenged to for Carl, Canadian and I's year-long challenge. Nice. I started it on playing it on the Dolphin emulator, but I need to get back to it. And I'll probably do like I didn't even get very far. Like I just had started the game, played up a little bit of it. I'm like, this is pretty cool, but I just never got into it. Nerdy Neo says I had Jurassic Park on Super Nintendo, but never figured out how to beat it. Yeah, I never knew how to beat it necessarily. I just knew you had to collect the raptor eggs. But you know what? That was a fun thing. Even that, like back then, I didn't worry too much about beating games. I would play them and get to a certain point to where, I was satisfied and then stop playing, and then I would just restart again. Melissa Lord says I like Shadowrun for Genesis is better than Super Nintendo. Marvel Pure says Streets of Rage 2 still one of the greats. Nerdy Neo says Twilight Princess also has retro achievements now. Nice. That'll definitely increase the chance of that being played again. Marvel Pure says I got Rings of Death twice. I was waiting for PS3 to drop. Had a lot of fun on 360 when it worked. LOL. Yeah, I had 1 or 2 Rings of Death, and that has just pissed me off to no end, and why I've really been hesitant to hunt down and get a replacement 360. It's just and I know and that's the thing. I know there are some people that has had their original 360 and stuff like that, and I was somebody that had the original PS3. I loved my PS3. I love that thing to death. And I have my original PlayStation 4, the original PlayStation 4 when it came out. It definitely is showing its age though with the PlayStation 4 that I have. It's a little slow to take the disc, but But yeah, I just wish the PS3 was like the PS2, much more all around backwards compatible instead of needing a specific version of the PS3 to get backwards compatibility. Yuck. Dan Blackroot says, Kojima betrayed me. He chose the wrong brother. Captain Keeley saying, Hitman talking about Star Wars theory. Can't wait. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, he was considering
I just can't stand him.
So shall we
He's
go
just-
into? Okay, I guess we're going into.
No,
theory.
because like I just. God, he
Go
just
no,
was
go ahead, go
me.
ahead, go ahead.
No, so like Fractured bamboozled me into watching the Skeleton Crew, which I watched episode 2 today, and it was just newsflash, just as bad as the first. And he did a review. I was on YouTube, and he did a review, and within like the first, I don't know, minute or two, he's talking about how, oh, it's a good kids show with good message, and he really liked it, and that he said that he believes that George Lucas would have approved of this message. And then he said, a lot of friends that I have that are friends with George would say the same thing. And I'm like, that is a bold, I guess before I say anything, like I am under the impression that he's never met George theory.
Right.
If I'm wrong, then I will eat crow on the show. But to my knowledge, I don't think he's ever met George. I don't think he is best friends with George. I don't think he's even gone out to dinner with George or had coffee with him. I don't know. But this is really what irritated me. So Raging Rhino, our friend, has been doing reviews of this show, and I saw that he was doing a review where he was talking about subliminal messaging in this show. And so I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
that's a funny thing because you weren't there Sunday with us to do the Star Trek Deep Space Nine watch. But yeah, Adam the Renaissance nerd picked up on something too on that kind of end where it was an odd looking scene with the weird elephant kid in a bath naked and the kind of voyeuristic point of view it was in. Like he showed me that the screen cap. I'm like, this is getting weird.
grooming?
Potentially, yes.
So
go on, sorry.
I'm sure it's probably the same review that Rhino did. I'm only in the second episode, by the way. So I mean, that's neither here nor there. There was, anyways. So him just making that comment that like, oh, I believe George would approve of this message and whatnot, and he gave his thoughts of what he thought the message of the show was and whatnot. But I'm like, is it though? It just because he always comes from a place of authority.
Right.
This is just my perception. I don't know the guy. I'm not trying to bash on the guy personally. I just, from a Star Wars perspective, like, and again, I will say this till I'm blue in the face. I don't know everything about Star Wars. My knowledge is very, very limited in comparison to like Tim or Laura or whatnot. But I still will go to my grave telling everybody that Tim and Laura know far more than what Theory does, because I've heard Theory talk, and when he talks about stuff, I'm like, I don't know if that is actually a thing.
And that certainly has been Star Wars Marvel purist's point. He's been certainly calling him out calling Theory out quite often. It's been pretty hilarious to see.
And the thing that like irritates me is like he doesn't care. Like he's not like he's got so much money. Like he doesn't care, and he's not gonna like Tim, Alora, UI, Marvel, Script Trooper, Tuscan Bob. I mean, everybody could call him out. He doesn't care. And because he comes from a place of like he just thinks he knows everything. Again, that's my perception. He could be the nicest guy ever.
You're not. I mean, you're not wrong in that he comes from a place of authority. Just because like he has technically like the largest channel involving Star Wars, but like it's a false.
But you have a responsibility if you've built a platform on the love of Star Wars. I've said this since day one. If you say that you love what George created, I have no idea how you can go from I love what George created to love what Kathleen Kennedy, Felony, all like I don't see it. Maybe I'm the crazy one, but 127 episodes of this show, maybe I am the crazy one, and maybe George actually maybe George's vision was the Mandalorian, maybe it was Ahsoka,
maybe it was.
Don't
all
doubt
these-
yourself, man. Don't
these
ever doubt
female
yourself.
characters, no,
Don't
but it's like
ever
it's
doubt
like,
yourself on that.
I just
Don't let them gaslight you like this.
I'm like, if you're gonna make a statement like that, like you can say, I would like to think maybe George would, but to say, well, I guess he kind of, I guess in the roundabout way still said the same thing, but I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way and it irritates me because you always like, you act like you're George's best friend and you know everything that George wanted to do. And it's like you were.
Well, he said he said that he has friends that are friends with George Lucas. Like he's like doing like a weird olive, like a whole tree of people that has to get to him before he. Sorry, go ahead.
He said, I think George would approve of this message.
Right. Just
and
from
then he
what he's
said,
been told by people.
Yes. And then he said, I have friends that are friends with George, and they would say that he approves of this message too. So instead of going to the man himself, you say, I'd like to think he would approve.
Right.
Of this
You just,
message.
he's theorizing, right? He's staying on brand.
It's like he's got this weird obsession with theories.
Well, it's what he built his whole platform. It's what he built his platform on, man. Of course he is.
I like to think he did, or his friends say, "Why don't you go ask George yourself?"
Right. You'd think he'd have enough clout, right?
Here's an example. I could say Fractured loves eggs, or I could say I think Fractured likes eggs, and my friends that are friends with Fractured would like to think he likes eggs. Or I could be like, no, I've talked to Fractured himself, and he really likes eggs.
Right, right.
But he can't go to George and ask him because I'm sure George doesn't know who he is because George is probably not concerned about him. Maybe that's a subjective comment. I don't know. I think George is probably a lot more busy with things than to bother himself with, a channel that is towing both lines, towing the line of the company that gave him the shaft, mind you.
Wait, say it again.
I said, George, I said I would think that he'd be more concerned with other things, especially being concerned about somebody who is towing the lines between what George created and the company that gave George the shaft.
Well, and Theory's been, or Marvel Purist has been calling him out for is like he doesn't even research his own stuff. He has writers now at this point. And also to like Nerdy Neo's point, like he says, if I was the biggest Star Wars channel on YouTube and portrayed myself as the most knowledgeable, I'd make sure to read/play everything in the EU. And that's the thing, Nerdy Neo. That's what also why I never got into his channel. For one, I just didn't really get into the whole, for some reason when it came to Star Wars, like I just didn't get into the whole theories and what ifs and stuff like that. And Marvel Purist is saying he's a Disney insider. He just knows not to go to shill events and show his shill elite grift baskets. But it's there was always something off to me about him, and that he always touted. He would always still use the Disney lore and stuff like that in place of some of his theory videos. So that was like why I never there was always something off about him that just never made me go, oh, this is a channel I should follow. No.
Well, I remember years ago you and I talked about when I first saw him, you're like, I'm probably not going to follow him.
Yeah, it's like, no, you probably should.
This is way before the show when Frank and I were talking about stuff. And
we were first getting acquainted and everything, and then you were.
I was like, "Hey, have you looked at this channel?" And he's like, "Ah, man,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it."
He said it, and I was like, "Oh man, he seems to have a good following, and he seems to know stuff." And lo and behold, like.
And that's when I showed Hitman the true path.
I'm not attacking this character. He's probably a cool dude.
No, I've never met him personally, but man, his online persona is just he
toes the line.
Yes, he's a fence riding bitch.
The fence that he has sat on should be on fire because of the amount of heat his butt has caused. On that fence.
Oh my god.
It's the warmest fence between America and Canada I've ever seen. He won't pick a side.
No. And
that's probably not financially smart for him to pick a side.
Pretty much.
Because if he picks a side, then you're going to lose the other half.
It is a bit. It's a financial risk.
I will never understand how you can say I'm a true Star Wars fan. I'm a George Lucas fan, and then like what Filoni has done, like
I know,
what Kathleen
right?
Kennedy has done. Like what. And I understand that he did not like Acolyte. I get it. Like he's talked out against some of the stuff, but you know your track record is not great, man. It's really not.
No.
Say, oh yeah, I like Mandalorian, and like, oh well, I didn't like Acolyte, and Ahsoka was okay, but Book of Boba was. I was like,
well, and
you
what
shouldn't like any of this stuff.
I think the new meme too has been like 7 out of 10. Is that right, Purist? If you're still in the chat, like it's been like he gives everything like a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's like, dude,
well, what's his 10?
Even though he's like, man, that episode was not that great. 7 out of 10. Like, what the fuck?
You gave it a 7 out of 10, and you liked the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Like,
there were I gave just like Rhino, I was fair to Bad Batch season 2.
I wasn't.
No, you weren't. You were much better. You were a better person than I, and you ripped it to shreds. I was like, there was a couple of decent enough episodes, but while there were some decent character episodes, I still also, we both ripped into all the lore problems and stuff like that about everything going on with the fight with freaking Bad Batch. And yeah, Ahsoka show was garbage. Lamau, that was the hottest fucking garbage out there. Listen, my god,
I still haven't got over the
fact that
Omega is a clone of Boba, who was a male, and she's a female, and they have yet to give me an answer. I'm just telling you, they have yet to give me an answer of how you clone a male and then you're magically a female. That doesn't make any sense. You clone an apple, you shouldn't get an orange. And you can't say, well, Amigo's really a dude. He was just feminine. Like, no, she was a girl.
Yes. No, that was very defined.
Not a girl woman. It's a girl.
Yeah.
You said it was a clone of Django.
Yeah. That was always my big sticking point to that stupid fucking show.
Right? Just saying.
No, I know.
Like Mandu, how do you get into an Imperial base if you've never been an Imperial with face recognition?
That goddamn face recognition. Oh my god.
Oh well, Moff Gideon hacked him in. It's like, did Moff Gideon see his face?
What? Moff Gideon gave his freaking name.
I'm just saying.
I know, it's stupid. And people praise season 1 like it was God's gift.
Here, riddle me this, Batman. How does not even a Padawan, Sabine, force push Ezra over 14 football fields into a Star Destroyer? Wasn't 14 football fields, but that was a pretty big. I mean, listen, Yoda only pushed Palpatine across the room, and you're telling me that Sabine, not even a Padawan, force pushes Ezra into a Star Destroyer?
I need the "Hello Darkness, my old friend" clip again, because I'm just feeling you are just bringing that old back right now.
I'm just telling you.
Damn you, Hitman! And hello, Jorge Lucas. How's it going? Hang on. He said Jorge Lucas saying Ahsoka had Sabine's empowering haircut.
Riddle me this. How does Boba get invited into a Tusken camp when Tuskens were the most exclusive? I mean, they're pretty exclusive. They didn't want a lot. I mean,
they were very exclusionary. Yes, they were very shooting. They were very.
I mean, these are the same people that are trying to kill people during the pod race.
Very tribalistic. Yes, they were very, very independent from the rest of Tatooine. They didn't
but Boba can get in, right? All you have to do is just do a dance around the fire.
Dance around the fire and snort some lizards, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nerdy Neo is asking the question that we've gone over. What's worse, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, or Acolyte? Yeah, Melissa Lord and Acolyte is the worst.
What were the options? Acolyte and what?
Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. I mean, Acolyte is really up there. It is.
Okay, in what perspective though? Lore damaging?
I would say in terms of character assassination and everything, Obi-Wan is probably still the worst.
No, really? You're gonna compare that to Plagueis? And the witch
Plagueis
sisters?
and Yoda.
The lesbian witch sisters that conjured up another form of Anakin?
Oh, God, you're right. I hate to admit it, but you're right.
I mean, listen, damage was done in Obi-Wan, and damage was done in Ahsoka, but the creme de la creme is Plagueis and the Witch Sisters and creating what was not ever supposed to be recreated. That's what made Luke and Leia so special. They're conceived by the Force. All you need to do is have three witches.
Anakin was conceived by the Force.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Anakin was conceived by the Force. Yes, I'm sorry. I retract my statement. But apparently, all you need is 3 witch sisters that are nobody knows anything about, and they just do a little chant, and then you can just create 2 twins. Now, mind you,
it is. I'm like having flashbacks.
And the most disrespectful thing of all is the most disrespectful thing is not the fact that they created of what the 3 witch sisters did, is that they made Plagueis look like a creeper in a cave.
Well,
That's the most disrespectful thing.
All he did was pop in, and then that was it. And it was just so pointless and stupid.
Oh, I forgot. They turned Ki-Adi-Mundi into a liar.
Oh yeah, Ki-Adi-Mundi was
an idiot. He just forgot the most obvious detail. Jedi got beat by Ip Man, a woman version of Ip Man.
God.
With a throwing knife.
7 out of 10, best show.
Listen, Thrawn holds a very special place in my heart. You know this, right? So Ahsoka was not good, and Obi-Wan was equally bad. But from a lore, you had a run for a while, right? But then Ahsoka came out, and then you were correct for a while, but I would say Acolyte.
The Tuskens were just some hippies living in the desert.
Listen, I can live with Boba dancing with Tuskens and fighting a Wookiee in a bacta tank. Like I can deal with that. What I can't deal with is 3 witch sisters creating twins out of nothing.
Nothingness.
Out of nothingness. Because they're one with the Force, but they're not Jedis. But they're witches. But they're not the witch sisters. They're just witches from Nowheresville. They're just literally you've defecated on everything that Anakin was. You've made Anakin nothing. He's not important.
Yep. They did. They really did.
So that's my answer.
Took away Plagueis' accomplishments.
Yeah. I would even rewatch The Mayor's Assistant and Peggy for
God damn it.
From Book of Boba.
Oh,
I would watch the Vespa Power Ranger scene. The Spinneroonie.
This is God. Hello, Brandon Trent. How's it going? Saying hello, very late to the party. Hope you guys had a good week and Saturday. Absolutely are. Except for now, Hitman's causing me trauma. Marvel Purist is saying Kenobi destroys. Kenobi cucks Vader, destroys Bail Organa, ruins the gap between the PT and the OT, etc. Acolyte did massive lore damage as well, but I'd say Kenobi is more significant and way more people watch Kenobi. I bounce between the two.
I don't know. I see
the rematch of a century that was never supposed to happen.
Never, But he brings
until
a big point
episode
because
4.
Mon Mothma, you know, that whole thing was just shenanigans. And then
let's
Leia
not get
saying
started
that
on
she knew-
Andor. Let's not get started on Andor.
apparently Leia knew Obi-Wan in the show, but older,
Star Wars
I
Marvel
still
Pierce says, I broke all the Plagueis, Cortosis, Baldemic lore, etc. down during my Wokalite reviews. There was a lot of shit. Definitely the travel time in Wokalite. They really embraced the Disney fast passes. Yeah. Brendan Trent said something else. He was asking us, did you guys see the Daredevil Born Again trailer, aka Netflix Daredevil season 4? I have amazingly managed to avoid it at I don't know how, but I've managed to avoid all the details and stuff like that. I haven't watched the trailer yet. I was thinking of doing that tonight. So, if Hitman's interested. But otherwise, I haven't watched it yet.
I think for the 200th episode, we should rewatch Book of Boba.
Why?
And then we should rewatch Mandalorian just to see if anything's changed or if we just hate it worse.
What have I done to deserve this?
You mean to tell me?
Why are you encouraging this sort of idea?
You don't think it'd be fun?
No.
Reminiscing over a bygone era?
No, I don't. No, I don't
You're
want to
telling
watch that slop ever again.
You're telling me you would not like to see what's her name? She got new robotic guts.
Oh,
Fennec Shand.
Fennec.
You tell me you don't want to watch Fennec Shand take on 6 assassins on a rooftop with whatever they were at, like, I don't know.
See, this is the problem with the fact that people can't actually see my face, is that they cannot see the excruciating pain I'm in as he is encouraging this. I am just face palming. I'm just face palming. I'm just rubbing my temples. I don't know what to do because this man is encouraging madness.
So we have to do something special for the 200th episode, and we're almost there.
We've still got some time before we hit 200, but I mean, I get it.
I mean, we're
planning ahead is a good idea.
I mean, the excitement that you could, just to see Danny Trejo show up for the second time.
I would rather rewatch on a loop Emancipation from Stargate Season 1 than watch either of those series ever again.
This comment that you just makes it sound like Emancipation was bad. You need to tread very carefully. That is my top. That's in the top 5 episodes, my friend, of greatest Stargate episodes of all time.
You know what? Between you and Carl of RNG Podcast, I feel like I have to apologize to a lot of people because the degrees of trolling and sarcasm that you people are leveling at me. I understand what the pain my friends felt when I did it to them. And now I feel like an asshole. And I feel I need to reach out to them and apologize to them because I'm experiencing this between the two of you.
You're just sexy. There's no sarcasm. It is a great episode. Not a filler episode at all.
God.
You should be ashamed of yourself to talk crap on Emancipation. You sexist.
Yes, I am. And proud of it.
That makes no sense. He's one of your favorite actors, but you don't like the episode. That makes no sense. It's like pooping before you wipe.
Wait, what?
Or wiping before you poop makes no sense.
What are you talking about?
Reverse it turbo. What? Yeah, the guy who plays the guy in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, the guy. Oh God, I forgot his name. But yeah,
Yeah.
he played Shang Tsung in the Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat
yeah.
movie.
It's a beloved character, and you've crapped on his chest by saying it's a terrible episode.
It
He
is a
poured his heart
terrible.
and soul.
I said I gave him props for chewing
That's
scenery
arbitrary.
and really doing it over the top, but oh my God, that was horrible. That was horrible.
Is Static still in the chat? Where is he? I need some backup. Even Static, I think, said it was a fantastic episode. Where is it?
Nobody did.
I was there. We watched it all together.
Yeah, Kerry Tagawa.
Yes. Where's Fractured? Or not, you're Fractured. Where's
Yeah, I'm Fractured. Nerdy Neo saying, Filter, maybe you should become a VTuber so people can see your expressions. I have considered that. I just don't know if there's anybody out there that would properly be able to rig up a Kyle Katarn look. But I might have to someday. I mean, actually, there should be somebody able to do it. It's just the cost is what kind of gets me, and then having to set that stuff up.
I hear talking nonsense.
Brandon Trent said, unrelated topic, but should Rocksteady deserve to do another Batman game after the flop of Suicide Squad, even though Head Sefton Hill and Jamie Walker left and made their own studio, 100 Star Games? Absolutely not.
Did you hear me? I said absolutely not.
No, I'm with
you. They peed on a black man.
They did.
They did.
They absolutely did. All because he was a police officer and everything. But he was the bad kind of black man. Got away with it.
Because he was because he was dare I say. Dare I not say. No, absolutely not. Rocksteady needs to go out of business.
Yeah, they definitely need to learn a bigger lesson for the bullshit that they pulled, and especially then trying to do a bullshit insert poor ending a la like Mass Effect 3 with some crappy not even rendered CG scenes, but just like basically like comic level tier panels to go, oh, it was actually clones of the Justice League all along, guys. They really tried to pull that back a bit. Be like, no, they were clones, guys. The Suicide Squad killed clones of the Justice League, not the real Justice League. Did you hear about that?
No, but I'm sure. No, I did not hear about this, but it was the Justice League. And you desecrated them, and you peed on a black man, and you should be ashamed of yourself, and you should have all of your gaming rights revoked. Where's all the activists? Where's BLM? Where's Black Lives Matter?
They didn't show up for this.
Of course not, they did. Because he was a cop who got peed on, and that's apparently okay.
Yep. It's very okay in their eyes. Remember, all cops are bastards until they have to call them and use them against you. Because they're real fast to do that shit.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, here's what we were just talking about. I think this covers it. Let me just... Oh, maybe not. Hang on. Oh, darn it. I thought it did. I was going to say, because it's such a ass pull. Like, really? You're just going to suddenly try and sweep everything you did under the rug? See if Niche Gamer has anything on it really quick. Come on, was none of y'all talking about that? That's annoying. Thought they would have had an article on it. Oh, wow. chat popped. Nerdy Neo saying, J Hitman, you want to be on top 5 when we rank our 5 favorite Stargate SG-1 episodes?
Yes. Emancipation.
Will you actually respond to the man?
Yes, absolutely.
You better.
If I don't respond to you, then
I'll actually wait at work and I'll kick you. Captain Keeley says, Filter, your sins are not forgotten. What are my sins? What did I do?
Talk crap on emancipation.
Marvel Purist says, On Peru becomes a gangsta in Kenobi too. Dude, what the fuck? Yeah, strong whammon. Oh, God. Captain Keeley said, Repent! What did I do? Hitman, you're going insane, says Captain Keeley. Yeah, thank you, Dan Blackguard. Kerry Tagawa. Kerry Hiroyuko Tagawa. Now I'm just bleh. Sorry. Hiroyuki Tagawa, says Nerdy Neo. That's the man. Static saying, I leave the room to take a shit and everything goes to hell, huh? What the fuck, Static?
I was like, yeah, because I had to call him in.
Captain Keeley saying he was one of the bad ones. Static saying, LOL, he said Black Lives Now Matter at first. Captain Keeley says, except Wonder Woman, they killed the real one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Everyone else they killed. Wonder Woman got spared, and oh God. What's his name? Lex Luthor put her over big time. So yeah, that whole Suicide Squad was a shit show. I don't know why I'm still trying to look for an article on it. Okay, so should we check out the... Oh God, what are you doing? Static saying Hitman randomly tweeted at me. What are you doing?
13.
What are you doing, young man?
Nothing.
I'm talking nonsense.
Yes.
What's this? Yeah, that there was a different view of that. But yeah, here's like I kind of alluded to earlier. And as United Space vs. Alliance says, these people are fucking weird. You got the little, I forgot what the race is called, because I know there's a specific race of the little weird elephant looking people. But now this just looks like a full on elephant. And as Adam the Renaissance Nerd says, they're fucking pedos. Yeah. Fucking weird shit. Fucking weird shit. That's why I'm happy we decided to avoid it. Well, I did. You, on the other hand, have decided to torture yourself. You know, when you go quiet like that, you make me really, really nervous. All right. You know what? You know what? We're moving on. All right. So
I'm gonna drag you into the bathroom scene.
Just gonna ignore that. You had posted this, and I have been seeing this trailer incessantly.
Oh, you have?
Possibly. We'll see which one it is. But so yeah, Hitman had sent this trailer to me. in our Discord for such occasions. Let me just make sure it's getting sound. Okay, cool. No, wrong one. There we go. But yeah, this is the Donkey Kong Country Returns that you wanted to talk about. We'll play the trailer really quick here.
Observe Donkey Kong, a powerful creature known throughout the jungle and custodian of the precious banana.
Oh no, this is a different trailer. This isn't the one we're playing obnoxiously at work.
Pal Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
While smaller in stature, this Kong can more than hold his own. But life in the jungle can be tough without a steady supply of potassium. That's why the Kong set out to recover nature's gold after it was stolen by the Tiki Tak tribe. When working together.
Apparently this was on the Wii, and I never played this game because of that fact.
Yeah.
But this is just a peek into their bombastic behaviors. You too can enjoy the closeness of the Kongs and help recover the banana horde in the Donkey Kong Country Returns HD game. Available January 16th, only on the Nintendo Switch system.
So yeah, I had been, like I said, seeing the trailer incessantly at work before it came out on the 16th. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll check it out because I loved, whoa, hello. The Weasel saying Shock Raid. We got Shaka Zulu. How's it going, man? We're being raided by some bouncy boobies. Hello, sir. How's it going? Everybody over on Kick, how are you? How are you all? Help that Kick channel. Yeah. Thank you. Hosted 9 viewers over up on this bitch. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Weasel, for the thank you, Weasel, for the follow on the Kick channel. Much appreciated, sir. But yeah, so I was interested in this game initially. Because again, I love Donkey Kong. I love the original Donkey Kong Country. Played it incessantly. On the Super Nintendo, of course. I played Donkey Kong Country 2. Never played Donkey Kong Country 3. But I was like, okay, you know what? This could be fun. I need to get more use out of my Nintendo Switch. This could be a great way of doing it. What sparked you to want to bring this game up?
Well, I'll tell you what it was. It was getting the Switch and playing Donkey Kong 64. And I know there's no real comparison because I think Donkey Kong 64 is a 3D game, not a platform game. But just wanted to get back into Donkey Kong like I did. I used to play on the NES or the Super Nintendo. I'm sorry, I used to play the Super Nintendo, which was absolutely fantastic. And then just recently getting a Switch, and I was gonna buy Tropical Freeze. I was like, and then I heard they had mixed reviews, a lot of mixed reviews on it.
I'd asked Jock Nerdy about it, and he is like, nah, not good. I was like, okay, I'll take your word for it, sir.
And people were saying it because it's a really hard platform, and so I'm like, okay, well, is that a bad thing in the game? Like, do you want a platform that's just super easy, or do you want a challenge? And so I ended up not getting Tropical Freeze just based off what I've heard from people, and so I got this one, and I was just really wanting it to be good.
Yeah.
But I guess, through this whole like trying to get this game and talking about it, like I had realized, I didn't realize, I came to the understanding that like we're not going to have the same characters in this game that we did in Nintendo's the Mario Donkey Kong 64, because, and this is where I'm a little confused, and I wanted to talk and get your thoughts on this, or I guess who created Donkey Kong, and if it was Nintendo, how did Rare acquire, like what did Rare acquire, and how did they create the Donkey Kong 64? Because it had Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, was it Dixie Kong? Who was the female?
Yeah, Dixie Kong.
Dixie Kong and Lanky Kong. I don't know if Cranky Kong was in there, but it was just a fantastic game, and you can't, and so with the expansion pack, which is kind of sad because they don't have a lot of games. I mean, all things considered, there's not a lot of 64 games on there. But Donkey Kong, I got the expansion pack solely because I was like, okay, Donkey Kong's going to be on it. It wasn't. And then I found out that it's not, because Rare still owns it. The rights.
Oh, for the original Donkey Kong, the Donkey
For
Kong
yeah,
Country.
well, that or 64, whatever the characters were in 64. So this, and I had started to play this game because I got it the other day. I started playing it last night, so I could at least have something to say about it while we were on the show. But it's very reminiscent of the older game.
Right.
So I doubt that Dixie Kong and Linky Kong are going to be on this game. But I don't know. I haven't played a Donkey Kong game since
Right.
Nintendo.
Well, and it's funny.
And
Shaka Zulu saying I only played Donkey Kong Countries 2 and 3. Actually, that is
yeah,
pretty funny that you skipped the first game.
yeah.
I you know, like I said, but yeah. Okay, so where do we start from with all that? When it comes to the Donkey Kong Country, like I said, 1 and 2 were the main ones I played. I never played all the way through 3. I've kind of like dabbled with it thanks to emulation, but never played through it.
Mhm.
And then like it was, since I didn't have the Wii, didn't play this version of Donkey Kong Country Returns, and yeah, because of poor reviews and everything, I didn't go near Tropical Freeze. But like it was, since this game was being HD treatment and all that, I was like, sure, might check it out. And I put it out, I put it out on X. I was like, so people tell me, yay, nay, what's the word on the streets? And I got yays for it. I'm like, okay, I'll consider it. At least that was my thoughts. But yeah, so getting to that, and then yes, Donkey Kong was like it was originally the arcade game where where Donkey Kong had captured what was it, the princess or whatever.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me see if I can find out what it Pauline. You have to rescue Pauline, and you're basically Mario or Jumpman, and you have to make your way up the towers and everything. And Donkey Kong is just chucking barrels at you. So yeah, that and I think they licensed it. I think the thing with Donkey Kong Country is that they just licensed it out to Rare to make that game. And that's how that was.
Well, really quick though, somebody told me that Tropical Freeze is the sequel to this game. Is that a thing or no?
Donkey Kong Country Returns?
Or is there's no correlation between the two?
Yeah, I guess Tropical Freeze is a direct sequel to the 2010 Wii game Donkey Kong Country Returns.
So this is just a remake then.
No, this is Donkey Kong Country Returns is a new game. And then this is the HD release for the Switch. And then Tropical Freeze is a sequel to Returns.
I got it.
Yeah.
That was kind of confusing because most
I know
sequels come out after a game's release.
So right. Not in this case, because Tropical Freeze was being a sequel to the Wii game. So
well, I'm so tired. Like, I just don't understand the legality of it. Like, if Nintendo created Donkey Kong and then Rare,
right, and they own the rights to it and everything,
right.
And then Rare might have some interest in it or something.
I heard that Rare created the characters in that game. So did Rare create Diddy Kong and Lanky Kong and Dixie Kong and Cranky Kong?
I mean, I think they did, yeah.
So we will and this is the thing that, like, I've been debating this all week, right? And you're like, well, that's a really odd thing to debate. Well, I'm going somewhere with this. So you're going to tell me that Rare owns the rights to Donkey Kong 64 and they won't release a game, like they won't release either a remastered version or another game because of why? And so thinking about this week is like, well, they could only do a remake of it. They couldn't even do a remake. They could only do like a remastered version because they only have the rights to those characters. They can't do, unless Nintendo gives them some type of like a licensing deal to add more characters. They could only do a remake. Or I'm sorry, I keep saying remake. They could only do like a remastered version. But I'm irritated because, in my opinion, I think Donkey Kong 64 is was just a fantastic game. And maybe it's because I'm old and I'm reminiscing over, nostalgia and my childhood and whatnot. But I thought it was just a fantastic game, and we'll never be able to play it again because Rare is sitting on it because they just want to sit on it and they don't want to do anything with it. Either they don't want to do anything with it or they legally can't. But I don't know why they legally can't, because they were the ones who created the game in the first place. So you should, if you own the rights or have some type of the rights for the game, then you could do a remaster. I don't understand how you would have to ask Nintendo for permission to
I
do another
don't.
game.
Yeah, I have no idea myself either. I'm sorry to say. I wish I had a better answer, but yeah.
Well, what I'm hearing is like in this weird legal, I guess, I don't know, limbo. But it pisses me off because one, Rare needs to just give the people what they want. Like, I guarantee you, if they were to re-release it with a couple like graphic mods, or I'm not a mod guy, so I may not be saying this stuff right, but if they were just to re-release it onto the Switch, I guarantee you I would buy it solely based off the fact that I played it, growing up.
Right.
I'd buy it. So there is the potential for making a profit, but they won't. So why?
Well,
And
so really quick, we got Righty Ho saying, "Bro did not just say Diddy Kong, for possibly a reason. He might have come in at an interesting time. I don't know for what context though." Shaka Zulu saying both that Hitman and they copywriting ROMs even though they refuse to re-release them. So there's also that aspect of it too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's the tricky business with some of that stuff. I know it's also troublesome.
That's a good. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. And I know that's never anything that comes to my mind either.
Well, thank you for pointing that out. So I guess that's your. I mean, I guess that's a good answer as any.
So you said you did pick up this game, right?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
And I had not. And then I saw this particular news about it this morning, which immediately made me turn away from it, saying Nintendo fails to explain latest crediting omission, insists it believes in giving proper credit. So the Switch's Donkey Kong Remastered doesn't credit the original developers. Released this week, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD was ported by Forever Entertainment. However, Retro Studios developers who created the original game are not named in the game's end credits. Instead, they're represented by a message reading based on the work of the original development staff. Why not name the staff? Why are you omitting that name? Now a Nintendo spokesperson has responded to the omission, stating that it values the contributions of all staff, but failing to explain why it decided to remove Return's original devs from its own credits. We believe in giving proper credit for anyone involved in making or contributing to a game's creation, and value the contributions that all staff make during the development process, it told Eurogamer. This isn't the first time Nintendo has omitted the original developers from the credits of a remaster, nor the first time it's happened with Retro Studios title. So apparently it's an issue with Retro Studios that in February 2023, developers involved in the making of Metroid Prime criticized Nintendo's decision to essentially remove them from the credits of the Switch port from Metroid Prime Remastered. I was unaware of this. I'm glad I had kind of held off. The issue of properly crediting developers in video games has rumbled on for several years, with numerous companies having been criticized for not giving proper credits to their creators. And I pointed this out to, oh God, who was it? Angry Canadian this morning, and how comic book movies and such always credit the original comic book creators of said characters usually. So, credits go to like whoever created Spider-Man, whoever created Superman, and stuff like that. Let's see. I'm just trying to check and make sure. Yeah, it was Angry Canadian. I had pointed that out, and I thought, I do still think this is kind of, or rather a little on the scummy side. Just a little on the scummy side. Let's see. Issue properly credited several years with no real regulation beyond International Game Developers Association (IDGA) guidelines, which aren't enforceable. Game developers are effectively at the mercy of their employers as to how, where, or if they're credited. IGDA guidelines advise that anybody who has worked on a game's development for 30 days or 5% must be credited. Quote, VGC's Donkey Kong Country Returns review calls the game a fine if unessential Switch remaster. Oof. Okay, interesting. Quote, with improved presentation and controls, Donkey Kong Country Returns is a definitive version of a classic platformer. We wrote, though it lacks the variety and bold ideas of its sequel and offers little new content, it's a worthwhile experience for those who missed it the first time around, which, you know, I could have been more than happy to check out. But like it is, when I heard that, it certainly made me kind of step out of that. And then to continue on here, I have so many windows, especially now, Jesus. But yeah, Melee Games came into the conversation, and as he pointed out to me on here, he says, unfortunate but not surprising. Nintendo in the past has been bad about giving legacy credits. Look at the Mario movie. It used the Donkey Kong rap and Donkey Kong music, but zero credit to Grant Kirkhope and David Wise. And apparently he says, really makes you wonder if Nintendo hates Rare, because they say DK rap from Donkey Kong 64, but they aren't mentioning who wrote it there. That's omitted from there. So it's kind of interesting about that. But as I apparently learned today, I'm being, I guess, a bit of a petulant baby about this sort of thing. But
there's no difference. It's literally just a remake.
It's just a remake. Yeah, it's just a remaster.
Well, that kind of sucks, because if you played for the Wii, then you're not getting anything new, and if you didn't play the Wii, then
it's like playing it brand new. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, Shaka Zulu saying Crush 40 is suing Sega for the Sonic movie too. Damn. Everybody getting in trouble up in here. But I mean, I don't think I'm out of line here to think that, you know, developers and such should get the credit for their work. Just a mention of that, you know, I don't think it's that hard or that out of line or anything like that. I don't see where there's a problem kind of holding these assholes flames to the fire, but I guess I'm in the wrong here. I don't know. You tell me.
They should probably get sued if that's the case.
What's that?
I think they should get sued if they're not doing that. Like, that's shystery to not credit the original.
See, that's what I was kind of. I was like, oof. Here I was thinking of picking it up because of this whole thing, and I mean, it was like, oh, this is a nothing burger. I was like, is it? Seems kind of scummy to give no credit to the original devs unless I'm missing something. Angry Canadian said they literally do. Not having every individual name written out isn't wrong. Several other remasters I've played have done that same format. So I said, again, seems kind of scummy, especially when Marvel and DC movies will give special thanks in the credits to the original creators. I want to say Night Dive did too with the original creators for System Shock Remake. Now I need to check that out to be more vigilant, it seems. and I had linked an article for it just to show I wasn't being so full of shit when it came to the Marvel movies. But I guess I am, like I said, I'm being a petulant baby about this. When I would say, you know, anybody that I would never want, I've railed on about it when it comes to bad localizations. I want the original stories to be respected. I want, you know, yeah, absolutely, original creators to get their respects. It's why we have been, you know, pissed at Disney anytime they decide to repurpose expanded universe content and bastardize it.
Yeah.
And then also they are trying to do things to sometimes avoid giving credit to original authors and stuff like that by their repurposings. Even though Dave Filoni says that's rude. But oh man, will he do that in a heartbeat? So, you know, what can be said? What can be said? But like I said, I was curious about the game, but that definitely put a bit of a kink in that sail.
Yeah.
Personally,
that's
for
right.
me, that's me. I am very much like that. Like I already said, with, you know, walking away from all the game consoles that I have. So,
I mean, it's nothing like, it's not like Breath of the Wild good, but I'm a sucker for Zelda.
Right.
So we'll see. Like I said, I've only played like the first like 2 levels. So
Timon says Marvel and Disney only give words to creators at best, no coin. Yeah, isn't it DC that's a little better about that? They give coin to the original creators if they're used in movies and whatnot, especially certain likeness of the characters. Well, the artists that created them or created the new look, they'll get a royalties check or whatever. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's out of line to go, hey, maybe, you know, give credit where credit's due properly. And yeah, you could also chuck some coin their way. That would also be very, very, very nice. So.
But they won't. And they don't.
Sadly, no. Sadly, no.
I'd much rather play the Star Wars game we looked at the beginning of the show.
Hey, that game was dope. I played
they
it.
should have made a Stargate game. That's what they should have done. That would have been awesome.
Well, unfortunately, there just hasn't been a really good Stargate game to come along.
Have they ever made one?
As a matter of fact, they have. And it's still in, one of them is still in my Steam library. Well, they've made a couple. So one of them,
I did not know that.
Yeah. Hang on. I am trying to find it right now. Yeah. Here's. Oh, it's not even gonna let me go to the. Oh. It's been delisted, so it's not letting me.
What does that mean, delisted?
It's been removed from the store, from the Steam store.
What?
Yeah. But yeah, it was this game here. Stargate Resistance. It was a third-person shooter, if I remember correctly. As you can see, had some pretty nice maps. Yeah, it was a third-person shooter.
Please, if there's any modders listening, please mod this game so I can buy it. Somehow buy it.
There was this game, and they did put out. Let's see, what was it? It was another. It was like a roguelike or something. Timekeepers. Here it is. Stargate. Timekeepers. Stealth. I think Raging Rhino picked it up and he said it wasn't very good.
Well, that sucks.
It really does.
But he also played Outlaws, so I mean.
Did you play Outlaws? I know you played Jedi Survivor.
No, Survivor. I'm sorry.
Funny thing, Timon, I'm pretty sure you can download voice packs and stuff like that of Stargate SG-1 characters for XCOM 2. In fact, let me look and see really quick because I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so there was that Stargate. There were sadly, yes, some mods out there being made of Stargate first-person shooters for things like in the Source engine and stuff like that. But there was also once upon a time ago a Stargate MMO that was being developed. And sadly, that never got off the ground. It was basically canceled. That was Stargate Worlds. Often abbreviated SGW, is a canceled MMORPG that was developed by Cheyenne Mountain Entertainment and originally scheduled to be published by Fire Sky in association with Metro Goldwyn and Mare. The game would have allowed thousands of players to interact in online. But yeah, it was very, very MMO-y. I wish there were some screenshots of it. And I remember getting in on a private beta alpha. I could never log into the damn game. I think it's because I had a potato computer at the time. It was before I got a good, like, my first good gaming rig. But yeah, that was that was a thing for it. Let me see for the again. Timon says, I played the first stage of the Stargate game for 30 minutes and dropped it. Bad. Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, let's see, the workshop. Yeah, so definitely. Here, let me do it by most popular. Time. So yeah, they do have the Jack O'Neill voice pack you can get. The Teal'c voice pack. I could have sworn they had more. I could have sworn they had Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they have a Carter voice pack as well. You know what? Let me try SG-1. Really? That's gonna be that annoying on me now? God dang it. That's so bizarre. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they had Daniel Jackson as well. Yep, Daniel Jackson voice pack. Oops. It's not gonna. There. Oh, nope, not that screen. Nope, not that one either. Nope, not that one. There we go. Oh, is it not? Dang it, still not capturing the sound. Output capture.
here a while till things calm down. In the meantime, we just sit here and do nothing.
Stop it! Fun? That's what you think.
You're seeing and hearing that.
Oh, he's dead. He's definitely dead. Well, I admit I have been pushing myself a bit. Well,
That's definitely some of the cool stuff you can do with XCOM 2. Timon saying, I might try this. No SG1 skin. Oop. What did I do? What did I do? Oh, I'm a goof. My bad. You can basically create the looks with the characters. Because otherwise, yeah, it doesn't, otherwise they don't have, the skins for the characters specifically. But you can just easily, it's just kind of like a generic-y human look anyways, so it works out pretty easy. At least maybe they're, hang on, let me, it booted me out. Why is it doubling up on that? What the flug? What did I do? I did something weird. Oh, that's what I did. Okay. It was so bizarre. It wasn't letting me. It's funny too. You just put in Samantha and it's right there. But yeah, it's just the voice packs. I'm not seeing skin packs. But like I said, with enough of the mods and stuff, you can definitely like basically create the SG1 look.
Is it on Steam?
XCOM 2? Yeah. It is indeedly do.
I need it.
It's a fun game. I definitely would recommend getting some mods for it to kind of tweak it out and everything. But otherwise, it's pretty fun. Okay. Well, should we take a look as a kind of top this off? Should we take a look at the Marvel Daredevil trailer?
Oh yeah, we should.
Okay.
Definitely.
I would have said, "Hey, let's get to Stargate," but we're getting on time. So like I said, we'll just top things off with this. Timon says, don't know why we don't have XCOM 3 yet. Because what was that? That other XCOM game, that abortion of an XCOM game they put out. God, I forgot what the hell it was called. It was something goofy like XCOM like Brotherhood or something. I just remember it being god awful and getting bad reviews, and it was totally just Chimera Squad. That was it. XCOM Chimera Squad. I'm pretty sure that was like a financial bust. I could be mistaken in that, but like I think it was that game just kind of tanked it for them. So I think that's why we haven't gotten an XCOM 3. But I could be jumping to conclusions. Even though like it's pretty positively rated on Steam, saying mostly positive for recent and all reviews, but take that for what you will. Even in my opinion, even sometimes PC gamers can be pretty smooth-brained retarded, so they have a workshop too. But I think that's why. And he's saying Chimera Squad sucks ass. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get to Daredevil
Thank you for finding the time.
I will admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again. A lot of time has passed. By the look of it, you've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
A mayor serves his city.
Oh. Could be me jumping to conclusions here. But I just can't help but think the direction they're gonna go with Kingpin and him being mayor of New York. I can't help but feel like we're gonna get some Trumpian tier shit in this.
I can see you're not entirely convinced.
Can you blame me? I can't shake the feeling that you're gaming the system.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
It's hard to come to terms with a violent nature. Hating the power it has over us.
This city can't go unchecked.
Sometimes peace needs to be broken. Chaos must reign.
Am I putting the hatchet down? I was raised to believe in grace. But I was also raised to believe in retribution.
March 4th. I don't know. Like I said, the whole Kingpin, who's usually the big bad villain, being a mayor, and like I can't help but see things for what Disney and everything tends to do, and yeah, like I'll be really curious if he drops like a whole make New York great again sort of shtick.
I did like the guy who played who played Kingpin and Daredevil. Was it Netflix?
That's this God, D'Onofrio something.
Yeah, William D'Onofrio.
Hang on, I'm bringing it up right now because my mind blanked. Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes, I did like him. I thought he did a good Kingpin.
I thought season 1 was really good. I did enjoy it. I thought it was great. Great fight scenes and everything. I did kind of laugh at Kingpin because I sometimes kind of saw him as the big angry bald baby, and almost kind of a little Kylo Ren-esque with his temper tantrums. But I didn't mind it so much. Like I said, the fight scenes were great in it. And it kind of sucked it took so long for him to get into the costume, but it was earned and deserved at the end, so it worked out. Then season 2 happened. And season 2 was a very mixed bag. Like the first half I thought was pretty solid. The whole introduction with Punisher. And then it felt like a bit of a stuffed in for the mid was adding in Electra. That just, it didn't work for me, brother. And so I was always kind of then at odds. And then I laughed because it was thanks to like Iron Fist that then they started bringing in just like they want to scream about accurate representation, and yet they had a Chinese woman playing a Japanese character's role. But I checked that was it the Defenders they did. It was okay. But like I just fell off on these whole cape shit stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like Daredevil season 2 I felt was such a letdown. And I was just like, you know what? You guys kind of crapped the bed. I heard the third season or whatever wasn't bad, but I was just like, I'm kind of tapped. And there's been a lot of buzz around this just because Charlie Cox here seems to be really dedicated to the role and everything. Like he seems to have really embraced it. So that's great. It's great that you have an actor that wants to play this character. It's just what's been given to him has not been that great. And Static saying Defenders was terrible. They ruined Iron Fist. The Iron Fist show I thought initially wasn't bad. I did think they overused I almost think it was like used for padding in time. His mother's death, like they just kept replaying that and replaying. I'm like, could you stop? And like there was elements that wasn't bad, but yeah, that was not. But the Iron Fist show was not great, and I couldn't stand.
Shield.
Not Shield. It was
Agent of Shield or whatever it was.
Oh God, Jessica Jones. That show I could not stand because you had every time again unnecessary overuse of flashbacks, and every time you had David Tennant in the scene shouting Jessica. I'm like, oh fucking hell, throttle him, please, shut him the hell up. So by the time we got to the Defenders, I was like, all right, I'll try and see how this all works. Like I don't remember being too miffed by it, but like the whole ensemble just didn't work for me. And yeah. Timon said that Electra was meh at best. At best. And he don't care, can't care. I don't blame you. And Melissa Lord came in with Vincent D'Onofrio. Thank you. But yeah. I like I said, it was this whole Daredevil run has been okay at best. It started really, really strong and quickly got kicked in the balls and fell off midway, in my opinion. So I don't know. Have you watched any of the Daredevil's seasons? No.
No, I mean I've watched not a little. I know I've seen scenes of William D'Onofrio, and I've heard just from people and that he's played a really good.
Yeah, he was good in the Kingpin role and everything. I also think like they could have had a little more focus on season 2 if you're going to include him, or just include a new villain.
Yeah,
you know.
That seems
he kind of got I think the villain at the time kind of got jobbed out, and then Kingpin was there again.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. We should be used to this. This is a common theme, right? Nobody gets anything within the comic books correct. They'll get bits and pieces, but it's few and far between. Or they'll take things from comic books.
Yeah.
If
they'll adapt bits and pieces of it.
They never stay true. But that's also, I mean, it's also hard because there's so many people that write, the character within comic books. Like how many people have written
Batman,
how many people have written Daredevil, how many people have done, Moon Knight, so but fundamentally the character should stay the same, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
And
Maintain the character and
Batman doesn't use guns and doesn't kill, and he should never kill because fundamentally he doesn't kill.
and they've
He'll beat
maintained
the crap
that.
out of somebody, but he's not going to. But he doesn't kill, right? So
I forgot to share the trailer for you, didn't I?
it's okay. I was on the phone.
Oh,
on my
okay.
phone checking Rumble. So, yeah. And like I said, I don't bring a lot to the table because I don't know a lot about Marvel.
Well, and I don't know. I won't say I know a terrible lot about Daredevil. I admit that.
All I know.
So like even like this was this like I think Tiger Mask I think it's called, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know I only know of the Punisher just because he's crossed over in so many books.
Yeah.
Where
my hate for Daredevil started with Ben Affleck. And
Ben Affleck. Yeah. The basically the long Evanescence music video.
Yeah.
I mean there's like part of me that's like, okay, so what are they referencing with this scene? That something took place that okay, thank you. Dan Blacker says White Tiger, I think. Tiger Claw. But so there was that one little curiosity about what sparked the thing with the helmet and for him to walk away from the vigilante life. And then like I said, whoever that like I said, they got in Punisher here. I just don't know who. I won't lie, it was kind of interesting seeing the different helmets that he has now.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't know if they've done the silver and the black. I know they've shown off the yellow. They had the yellow costume, but that wasn't goddamn She-Hulk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oof. I never watched that series though. Here you go. So you're the black one I'm unsure about. I don't think they've shown off the black outfit, but that might have been maybe season 3 or something. So yeah, also Meteor Advocate Timon saying White Tigress, White Tiger. So yeah, it's that character was White Tiger. Again, I admit I'm not super familiar with the particular. I don't know if this is also the White Tiger character here, just in a pre-outfit for official outfit sort of thing. Just kind of run through this. Yeah, kind of going fast forward a bit just to try and get a good shot of him. There we go. Yeah. Oop. So yeah, there's that guy. Dan Blackred had said Defenders was edited terribly. Entire sequences of events were skipped over, and none of it really fit from scenario to scenario. Just people did things, and it was never really explained. And he said also Daredevil is the only good show. And Sigourney Weaver had no reason to be there. And he's talking about for Defenders. Yeah, I thought that was weird. Says, no, that's different. Okay, so the other one, the one with the like kind of more ghetto looking mask is different. Gotcha. 2 different guys running around in masks. Bunch of guys running around in masks. And then we got our cape shit. But yeah. I don't know. I might check this out out of bizarre curiosity
to see if it's even good.
Yeah, but then I'd have to probably watch through the first 3 seasons of Daredevil
just to understand,
just to get myself caught up. I'm wondering. See, this is the thing. I'm wondering if they omit Hawkeye. I think it was Hawkeye that Vincent D'Onofrio got jobbed out into was it some 20-year-old girl or some shit like that, and then in how old Daredevil here did the walk of shame in She-Hulk. So I'm wondering if those events are gonna get mentioned or if they're just gonna omit them entirely, like Nintendo omits original developers.
Probably omit.
Dan Blackroyd says, I think to me they look like two different characters. They probably are. Like, I just thought like the one with the kind of more like trashy looking mask was like maybe like maybe an early version till he gets to the whole tiger mask thing. Like, I could see that being the case sometimes. Like, even the villain has the glow up. So yeah, like I said, I'm out of a bizarre curiosity, I might check it out, but otherwise I haven't, not a strong inclination. I know my buddy Das Mordo, he's really kind of like he's feeling the hype, brother. Feeling that hype.
Hype over what's gonna probably be not a great show.
Well, he's also he's kind of a normie, so he doesn't notice like certainly some of the stuff like you or I might. But yep.
We
like
shall
said,
see. Maybe
morbid curiosity, might check it out, might not.
Ask Brad if he's watching it.
He probably is. He's probably gonna watch it. All right, sir. So do you have anything you want to plug? I think we will wrap it up here.
Join us again next week for more topics. I'm excited to keep talking through.
Sorry, hang on. I went to the ending. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to play that immediately. All right, so start again, sir. Start again.
No, just enjoying kind of catching up through all of our stuff that we've missed for the last 2 months. So I don't know when we'll get back to Stargate, but I'm definitely enjoying just kind of going through all different articles and whatnot. So
cool. Hitman or Static said, I'm gonna watch it. Okay, so he's gonna keep an eye. Dan Blackroyd says, one is Muse, the dirtier mask one. Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Shaka Zulu says, hurry up, Hitman, show's over. LOL. Later, Figs. Later, dude. Thank you, everybody that showed up. Shaka Zulu, thank you for the raid, man. I much appreciated it. Thank you, Weasel, for subbing to the Kick channel. Definitely trying to kick it up to get those subs up to maybe finally be able to start getting more out of Kick side, considering they have a little lower stuff for it. Static 2020, thank you for showing up. Dan Blackroyd, Timon as always as well. Melissa Lord, we had Captain Keeley up in here, who also had said Hitman followed me for some reason. Why? I have no clue. I'm retarded like Filter. Hail the fellow retards. But Star Wars Marvel Purist was in the chat, chatting it up. Jorge Lucas. Lady Fennec, I missed that one. Damn it! I'm sorry. But we had Darth Paz in earlier before that. Nerdy Neo, Brandon Tran. Thank you all so much for showing up, being part of the show. Greatly appreciate it, guys. And we will be back, same bat time, same bat channel next week. Also, do check out Duke Devil 95's channel. I have started, and Hitman's going to join us this week, but he has Duke Devil has asked us to join him for a Deep Space Nine watch, and this is the first time both Hitman and I have ever watched the series. So you're getting some virgin takes here, and both Duke Devil, Bradley Burnett, and Adam the Renaissance Nerd have been very gentle, very tender. But yeah, there's the link to the video. Here are our thoughts. Follow along. He'll post them hopefully on Wednesdays, time permitted. And also there is Duke's channel. Check him out. Yeah, League of Retarded Gentlemen. All right. But do check that out. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the first episode of Deep Space Nine. Oh, we should have talked about that. I should have gotten you should have gotten your thoughts. You watched the first episode, right?
Not all the way through, no.
Oh, okay.
Still working through it, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be ready to go tomorrow though.
But yeah, do check that out. I had a lot of fun. Like I said, I enjoyed the episode. It was very good, and Brad chopped it down from 2 hours that we were chatting and watching the episode down to 45 minutes. Still a little long, but still he, like I said, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Do check it out, and also keep an eye for the following installment. But with that, we'll say goodnight, goodbye, and we'll catch you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring, the one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, it put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter